Okay, magandang gabi ho sa inyo lahat. It's a happy Thursday once again. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm sure maraming na natutuwa at nakikiliti ho sa inyo dahil siyempre Thursday ho. At kapag Thursday, another night of information, no? At hindi lang yung information, siyempre we love seeing the person herself dahil siya ho ang ating kumbaga nagpapaligaya at nagbibigay ng kaalaman sa ating Thursdays. Kaya nga ho, tinawag nating Happy Thursday. Siyempre, kinalulugod kong ipakilala yung aking kasama rito no, sa ating Immigration Corner. Walang iba kundi, ano ba to, Managing Director ho ba ng Douglas Simon Solicitors, no? At siya ho isang talagang napakahusay, mabait, no, matalino, lahat na ho. Mga kaibigan, walang iba kundi si Attorney Lira Simon Kabatbat. Good evening, Attorney. Magandang gabi sa iyo.
Hello. Happy Thursday, Sonny. What an introduction, the bribe worked, ha?
Para sabi mo, ako ba yun? Oo nga, talaga nga. Dahil siya ang ikaw ang parang attorney, di ba? I should have said the very first ever yatang Pinoy solicitor. We could say that, di ba?
Yes,
di ba? Yan. Hindi ko nagyayabang si attorney, ako na nagsabi. Hindi nagyayabang si attorney, ako na nagsabi. Talagang siya ang ating the very first, no? She's been the cover of our newspaper, yung Yes Philippines. Check it out ho, no? Lalong-lalo sa Earl's Court, sa mga tindahan no, na malapit sa inyo sa buong Pilipinas, buong United Kingdom. Good evening. Meron tayong tatalakayin ngayon. May topic tayo. Teka muna, as always, syempre, kukumustahin kita because a lot of our viewers, treat this as their happy Thursday. So, kumusta? How was it? No? Ano bang pinagkaabalahan? Ano ginawa mo ng weekend? How was your week prior to today, tonight?
Actually, today, meron akong, nilalagnat akong kaunti. So, which is a bit strange. Yeah. So, I don't think it's, I don't think it's COVID or anything like that. But I'm just feeling a little bit, like a lot of people, ang nakakatakot nga ngayon, every time meron kang konting simpo, you have a bit of a temperature or kaya you have a bit of a cold, you immediately think, nako,
parang
so yun nakakatakot, no? But
yes.
I think it's just a little thing. Dahil ang lamig nga sa labas, lagi naulanan nga ako over the weekend. That's what I was doing, getting absolutely soaked when I took the dog out. So pero kasalanan ko. What can you do?
Oh, well.
Ikaw, Sonny, kamusta?
Okay naman. Ako naman, nagiinom ako ng vitamin D. Kasi attorney, nabasa ko, somewhere, alam mo naman tayo, may information, na tayo, parang, iba na ngayon, ang daming information left and right. Di ba? You can, minsan, in passing lang, nababasa mo, no? But something caught my eye, I don't know kung saan yun, na the government yata has been giving mga vitamin Ds to, bibigay. Kasi yata ang vitamin D yata daw, parang, di ba, napapag-usapan ng simula na nakakatulong to para enhance your immune system siguro o panlaban sa COVID, no? Yeah. So, ayun, no? Nagiinom ako noon. So far, yun lang. Tapos, naglalakad kasi lumalaki na yung tiyan ko eh. Alam mo kasi kakakain, wala na tayo masyadong ang laki na eh. Kaya sabi ko, kain na kain. Tapos tayong dalawa, matakaw pa tayo sa Doritos. Pero iniwasan ko na. Hindi na ako kumakain ng Doritos muna. Alam mo kung saan ako ngayong medyo baliw ngayong magkakain?
Ano?
Ang snacks ko, popcorn. Ako na nagluluto. Bumili ako ng mga kernel. They call it kernels yata. So nakabili ako sa Sainsbury's, yan. Ano pa ba? Sa Tesco, yan. Pero gusto ko yung malalaking Tapos ako na nagluluto, tansya-tansya, butter. So I have this butter na salted butter yata na para hindi ko na lagyan ng asukal, ng asin, di ba? Kasi pagka kumain ka sa when you go to movie houses, medyo maalat, di ba? Dahil siyempre, kasi inaalok ko yan para at least hindi dahil alam mo na, di ba, kung may mga hypertension ka di ba, masama yan eh, tataas ang mo. So yun lang, popcorn na nagluluto na ako na mismo. Before I used to buy this 1 pound na na pangalan to, parang popcorn lang na Tesco, masarap ang passport, talagang binibili ko yung isang 8 pieces isang box eh. Binibili ko, minsan 2 boxes ako, na-addict ako. Kaya lang maalat yung sa Tesco, tsaka yung lalo na yung sa ano ba pangalan to, napakaalat. So, yun lang naman so far. Wala
Yeah.
namang ako masyadong, except siguro, yung tummy ko siguro, sana hindi na lumaki lalo. Ano? Kasi kain ako ng
Well,
kain
actually,
Hmm.
well,
Attorney.
it's better. Yeah, it's better for you popcorn than Doritos, siguro, no? But no, tama ka. What else do you do though, no? You can't go out to wala namang cinema, no? Gyms are closed. Not that I ever went to the gym anyway. Tapos everything's closed, no? So yeah,
Oh.
kailangan natin mag-ingat. I know the feeling. It's just
Oh.
definitely kailangan natin mag-ingat. Mga
Pero
kababayan natin dahil
napag-usapan natin ang snacks, attorney. Ikaw ba, snacks yun. Pero let's go to the regular pagkain. Ano paborito mo ulam? Ako, I don't know, tumanda na ako na
Oh.
ganito. Hindi ko alam ang mga pangalan ng ulam. Up to now. Basta ako, kakain lang. Hindi ko alam ang difference
I
ng
must
sinigang sa
say,
ano pa ba yung basta may pagkain na hindi ko alam talaga. I just will eat eh. Alam ko lang ito 'yon. Oo, ayan. Ikaw ba anong favorite ano favorite na ulam mo? Kinakain mong ano?
ulam, I really, I
Hindi
really
ka na
like tuyo.
hindi ka na hindi ka na Filipino food, wala kang anything. Ano ba?
No, no, no,
It could be
tuyo.
Filipino or not, no?
No, tuyo. Tuyo ang paborito ko.
Oy, mahal yan, ginto yan.
Yeah. Tuyo. Yeah.
Talaga where do you get your tuyo?
Elscourt.
Where do you get your tuyo? Saan mo kinukuha yan? Tuyo mo
Sa,
na yan?
sa Elscourt.
Ah,
Yeah,
really?
sa Elscourt. At saka meron, yeah. And also, I have a lovely client who gives me tuyo, no? And who I haven't seen actually for a little while na nga because of course of lockdown. So,
Nagutom
yeah,
ako,
so,
Tony. Tuyo. Gusto ko yan, tuyo. Gusto ko yan. Kamatis, ganyan. No?
yeah.
Fried
Yeah,
rice.
kamatis.
Oo.
Actually, rather than rice, because it takes a bit longer to do the rice nga, dahil tamad ako no?
Oo.
I actually sometimes have it with mash, no?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, tuyo, mash, at saka, kamatis. So, there's
Okay.
a kind of Western twist to my tuyo.
Okay. Uy, sinubukan ko kasi
Ikaw?
tama yung... Hindi. Ako, ano ba? Oh, yeah, tuyo. Paborito ko yung tuyo na yan. Ano pa mga paborito ko? Ako, weakness ko lang, attorney. Basta lutuan mo lang ako ng fried rice. Okay na ako, maski ng ulam, maski itlog na fried eggs, tuyo, or anything. Basta fried rice. Garlic rice pa, I should say. Garlic rice. Fried garlic rice pala. Ganun. Yan ang weakness
Yeah.
ko talaga. Yan. So, that's the... If anyone there would like to be close to my heart, no? Fried garlic rice. Hindi, ewan ko kasi, healthy kasi, di ba, yung mga garlic for the heart, di ba? Di ba yung mga garlic, good for the heart, no? Lowering blood pressure and everything. So, at saka yun, I love, tapos yung tuyo nga, naku, gusto ko yan talaga. Meron pa ako sa paborito ng father ko na eventually nagustuhan ko. Yung, he would fry yung eggplant, hatiin yun, tapos, yun, fried na eggplant na hinati niya. Ayun, so may toyo ka ron, okay na rin, no? Masarap na rin, may malasa na yun. Di ba?
Yeah.
Ganun lang kasimple, no? Tuyo, gusto ko yan.
Yeah.
Mahal-mahal yan dito sa magkano ba yun? So sabi ko, magtinda kaya ako ng tuyo. Dahil ang mahal we were buying tuyo. At saka ang liliit kasi nung nabibili. Malalaki ba nabibili mo tuyo? Parang maliit
Yeah,
yung nabibili ko tuyo.
yeah. No. Yeah, okay naman kahit maliit nga lang. But of course, yeah, I prefer yung mas malaki. And then you have yung kamatis, tapos, no, absolutely ako, I am very, very Filipino.
Talaga?
Actually,
Okay.
with food.
Wow. Okay, that's good, no? Akala ko, dito, ano ba? Baka ako nag-iba na, naging na rin, halo-halo na rin yung taste mo. But you can try anything naman, di ba? Ganun naman talaga. You try other dishes, di ba? Pero iba pa rin yung Pilipino. Ikaw, when you were growing up sa Pilipinas, where did you grow up pa? Sa Pampanga ba? Saan ka ba? Where were you raised ba?
Well, I mean, I lived everywhere actually. Lagi nga kami lumilipat. So, Quezon City, no? Una. Tapos, actually lived in Batak also, Ilocos Norte.
Marunong ka ba Ilocano?
Yeah.
Can you speak Ilocano?
Nakalimutan ko na. Unfortunately.
Bata kasi,
The only things I can...
Oo. Bata kasi, the
The only
president.
things I can say...
Oo, the only things
si
you can say.
Marcos.
Si Marcos. Batak,
Well,
Ilocos Sur, di ba? Hindi ba Batak?
Ilocos Norte. No, Batak,
Ilocos Norte, sorry. Ilocos
Yeah.
Norte, I should say. Yeah,
Yeah.
Batak, oo.
The only things I can say nga in Ilocano, I should not say on air because I can still swear really, really well in Ilocano.
Okay.
But but otherwise,
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. Kasi
unfortunately,
usually
yeah.
ganyan di ba? Yung mga swear words ang ano? Oo.
Yeah, hindi ko ginagamit eh. You see,
Oo.
yeah. So after a while, like any language nga, no, kung hindi mo lagi ginagamit, you kind of forget it. But I think kung uwi ako sa atin, tapos matagalan ako doon ng kaunti, say sa Batak, ano, I'm
Oo.
sure I'll come back.
Wow, okay. Ako, attorney, ako naman, lumaki ako sa Manila, sa Caloocan. Pero, ang
Mm.
usap sa akin ng lola ko, Ibanag. So, I was, I would say, hindi
Oh.
naman fluent, but basta naintindihan ko, Ibanag, hindi mo ako pwedeng ibenta. So, Ibanag kasi Cagayan Valley sila eh. So, yung mga laragan. So, yun lumalaki ako. Ibanag ako. Siyempre, kung gusto kang pagalitan ng lola mo o may gustong sabihin na para hindi maintindihan ng ibang tao, kinakausap ko ng Ibanag.
Oh.
No? Kaya nakalakihan ko yun, naintindihan ko yun. Kaya natutuwa naman
Oh,
ako.
nice.
Oo, Ibanag. They say it's salitang ibon eh. Pero, okay. Ayan,
Hirap.
medyo, at least, no? Happy Thursday, everybody. Magandang hapon ho. Hapon talaga. Gabi sa inyong lahat. Ayan, at yun na naman kami ni Attorney Lira, no? Kasama ho ninyo. Okay, ito ho ang topic natin.
Yeah.
Ito yung topic natin, no? Ito yung di-discuss mo ngayon, no? Pero siyempre, magbe-break. Hindi tayo makapag-break ngayon. Mamaya-maya pa siguro. So, ayan, ito ang ating pag-uusapan, adult dependence. Di ba?
Okay.
So, oo. Ano ba mga pinag-usapan natin ng mga nakaraan ba? Ready na yung papel ko at saka ballpen ko para magsusulat na naman ang notes natin for tonight. Di ba?
Good,
So,
thank you. Yeah.
yan,
Well, last time, actually, last time, di ba, pinag-usapan natin, travel restrictions, you know?
Ang
So,
ganda.
ito,
Ang
yeah,
ganda ng ginawa mo ron, Tony, ha? Marvelous,
yeah,
ha?
so that was
Talagang,
actually,
oo.
that was popular, no?
Galing,
Um,
oo.
uh, Now, actually, last
Hmm.
week may nagtanong sa akin, and he actually emailed nga, but I can't.
Hmm.
I saw the email, I closed the email, and I can't find it now. But I remember the question, and
Okay.
so maybe kung meron time tayo mamaya, I wouldn't mind just discussing that also because it was quite an interesting question. That's the one with the EU or becoming an EU na. So yeah, so this adult dependent topic, pinili ko yan dahil this week, and it's
Okay.
only Thursday, of course, I probably had, I know, a dozen inquiries, all on the same thing. I
Oh,
don't quite know
wow.
what's going on. Yeah,
Right.
especially nga
That's good.
sa Pinas,
Oo.
maybe to do nga with the COVID na, people, of course, have lost their jobs or they want to, maybe because it's the new year, they want to potentially start anew somewhere else. So that's the reason why I thought I'd choose this topic. It's quite a big topic and it's quite a difficult one.
Oo.
So yeah, so hopefully it's of interest, no? Adult dependence.
Hindi to confined dati sa mga pinag-uusapan natin over 65 mga parents. They could also be, sisters, brothers, or anybody, dependents?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay,
Yeah,
sige.
absolutely.
Well, interesting to. Mga kaibigan, ready ka na ba? Ito, itatalakay mo na?
Yeah.
O sige,
Yeah.
ayan.
Umpisa na
Ito,
tayo.
makinig ko kayo. Meron ako akong papel. Lapis at papel. Ballpen. Ayan. Susulat ako. May notes ho tayo. Okay, dokie. Ayan.
Alright.
Ito na ho. Si Attorney. Attorney, take it away.
Okay. Okay, so ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, yung adult dependent route, no? So, yung nga sabi ko kanina, this week alone, I've had so many inquiries about adult dependence nga. Now, the question usually is, can I apply for my adult child over 18, obviously, to join me permanently in the United Kingdom? Or the second most popular question this week, at least, is can I apply for my widowed mother? Often it's the mother, or of course it applies also to fathers. Join me permanently again in the United Kingdom. Now, for both, unfortunately, the usual answer that I provide is it's a difficult application. Now, having said that, difficult does not mean impossible, no? So hindi nga imposible yon. So let's look at the immigration provision. So, the immigration provision nga, yung batas, it's contained under what's called Appendix FM. Now, yung batas na yon nagbago in July 2012 actually. No, before that, the adult dependent route was far wider. It was a far easier application to make. But unfortunately, as I say, since July 2012, nagbago na. Now, just to look at how difficult it's been, or the change nga, in 2015, all right, and this was the data nga that I found, there were 452 adult dependent root applications. Okay, 452. 50 only of those were granted in that year. No? Now, they're broken down as follows. So 22 of those 50, they were granted at the initial application, initial decision. So, nagpasok yung application, it was granted. Only 22 of the 50. So, hindi pa kalahati. 7 were granted after it was looked at again by the entry clearance manager. So, nagdesisyon, it was a no, but a request was made to the entry clearance manager to look at it again, and 7 of those were overturned by the entry clearance manager. So it didn't go to appeal. Now, 21, so nearly half, were then allowed following an appeal. So it just shows you nga, in the thousands and thousands of applications to do with family dependence nga, only 452 were to do with the adult dependent route, and as I say, only 50 of the 452 were actually granted, and only 22 of those at the initial decision. No, so it just shows you how difficult nga it can be. Now, but as I've said, difficult does not mean impossible. So tignan natin, no? So let's break it down. As I've said, Appendix FM governs the adult dependent route. Now, so these are the conditions. So unang-una, the applicant, so yung manggagaling nga sa atin, for example, kung nasa Pinas siya, must be outside the United Kingdom. So yung adult dependent route, kung nandito na yung tao, it's not applicable. It's an entry clearance application. Kailangan nilang pumasok. So they're abroad coming into the UK. Now, who would be considered adult dependent? Yung nga sinasabi natin kanina. So an adult dependent can be a parent, a grandparent, okay, a brother or sister, age over 18, obviously, son or daughter, again, age over 18. Yung nga sabi ko kanina, the most common inquiries I have is magulang nyo o kaya mga anak. So over the age of 18. Now, so that's one thing. So not everyone, so kung mga pinsan nyo, they're not going to qualify. Uncles, aunts, again, they're not going to qualify. So it has to be parent, grandparent, brother or sister nga, son or daughter, age over 18. Now, second condition is the sponsor, kayo, kung nandito kayo sa UK, must be, of course, over the age of 18 and either British, o kaya settlement status, so meron na kayong indefinite leave to remain or permanent resident dito, or in some cases, you're in the UK with a refugee status or humanitarian protection. Now, most commonly, most of the inquiries at least I get, they're either British o kaya indefinite na nga kayo dito. So clearly, the adult dependent route will not apply kung nandito kayo as a student or as under the points-based system as a skilled worker or under the old tier 2. Now, so the first two conditions, if you like, are not necessarily difficult. And it's easy enough to also show that, of course, you're British, hindi meron kang passport, and yung kamag-anak nyo, either your parent or indeed anak nyo, because you can show birth certificate. No, it becomes more difficult when you look at the remaining conditions. So, and I'll read it because it's useful to know the actual condition, the actual rules. So, it's the next condition is that the applicant, yung papasok nga dito, must, as a result of age, illness, or disability, require long-term personal care to perform everyday tasks. Okay. Now we'll look at that. We'll come back to that, no? Because that's quite a difficult condition, as I say. Now, subsequently, also the applicant must, the applicant must be unable, even with the practical and financial help of the sponsor, obtain the required level of care in the country where they are living, because either A, it's not available, and there's no person in that country who can reasonably provide it, or it is not affordable. no? So those, if you like, no, two conditions nga, last conditions are the most difficult. So when they are looking at long-term personal care to perform everyday tasks, now they're really looking at basic things. So cooking for yourself, no, keeping yourself clean. So those everyday tasks, no. And as I've said, long term. And so it's not that they just unwell for the moment and then hopefully will get better soon or can get better. They're looking at the long term personal care, and unable to do everyday tasks now. Now, as one of the conditions, as I said, is that even with practical help. So marami akong mga kliyente, nagpapadala, wow, tayong mga Pinoy, papadala tayo nga sa atin, ano? But even with that financial help, you can't get the level of care that you need, no? In your home country. So if you're in the Philippines, of course, the Philippines, no? Or that it's not affordable. Now, and that's really one of the reasons why there are so very few applications that succeed, because it's very, very difficult to establish that you can't that there's no, you can't get the level of care, or there's no one else in the whole of the in your home country who can reasonably provide it. And that is where most people unfortunately fail with their applications. Now, what can you do to to maximize your chance of success? No? How do you prove your case? Now, for the first conditions, it's not too difficult. So, o kung para sa anak nyo, kukunin nyo nga siya dito, birth certificate will do. No? And kung magulang nyo, again, your birth certificate will do. Now, the other things become more important, no, because of their difficulty. So, kung may sakit yung kukunin nyo, no, unang-unang kailangan yung tignan, medical evidence. And it has to be independent medical evidence. So, if kung meron silang sakit sa puso or anything like that, then you need to prove what it is. Now, if they have, say, mental concerns nga, no, then you have to have, again, medical documents to prove that. So it can be psychiatrist report, okay, or psychologist report. So it's very important that you establish nga, yung sinasabi yung may sakit siya, that you have independent evidence to say talagang may sakit nga yung tao. It's not enough for you to simply say, or they to simply say, may sakit ako, I can't get up. It has to be evidence, no? Now, but that on its own is not enough. Kailangan nyo din pakita that actually it's not the care is not available, no, cannot be provided by anyone else, say in the Philippines, or can't be had, no, in the Philippines, or if you're living in the Philippines. So now there, it's useful also to know, say, statistics, no? So sa atin, hindi pa rin uso yung care homes, as I understand it. Especially if you're looking at, say, those who are very elderly, or those who are vulnerable because of mental conditions. Because sa atin, in the main, we're still looking after, if you like, our the elderly, and normally we're all living in a family unit. So unlike in the UK, where it's more well established now that you have care homes, for example, no. So what's been useful, certainly when I've been preparing cases, is to check out, and you can do this, of course, online nga, how many care homes, no, are located in that area, no? Or indeed in that whole, if it's in Manila, in the whole of Manila. And you will probably find that's only a fraction by comparison to here. Now, for those care homes or those residential places, some of them may not be actually appropriate for your relative, no? because it could be that they're not elderly, or it could be that they require some assistance. They require assistance, but not in a residential unit. So give the court, or indeed the home office unang-una, the statistics. And you can even list them. You can say, okay, in Batak, Ilocos Norte, these are the care homes available. And also list magkano. So make inquiries. You can simply email them. You can say, okay, on a weekly basis, magkano ba? So that you can also potentially even show that it's actually not affordable, at least not by you if you're the one sponsoring. So it's for you to provide evidence in support of the application. So put all your documents together. So think outside the box. Yeah. Don't just stop at medical evidence. As I've said, look at list the care homes nga, say how much they are. Now, let's say you made your application, but unfortunately it's still refused. And it's not unusual nga that it's refused, simply because it's probably one of the most difficult routes to try and establish. Now, if it's refused, that's not also the end of it. The Home Office must, they're obliged to, look at what's called Article 8. Article 8 is right to family, private life. Kailangan nilang tingnan yun. So, even though you do not satisfy, or your relative does not satisfy the adult dependent route, do the circumstances dictate that there be a grant anyway under Article 8? Under human rights, because of family life, for example. By that, I mean, kailangan nilang tingnan, are there exceptional circumstances? So if Article 8 is engaged, that's how it's called, then are there exceptional circumstances? Again, if you're making an application for both reasons, that is that to establish the adult dependent route, and also definitely Article 8, right to family, private life, prepare a statement. Okay, yung statement if you're sponsoring. So say there why it is that you think that you satisfy your relatives, that satisfies now the adult dependent route, and in any event, and put it in that way, in any event, you also want to make representations pursuant to Article 8, family life. And sabihin nyo doon, why is it that it's important na nandito nga sila? So it could be that your mother or your father are now widowed, no? It could also be your adult son or daughter have mental issues that you want them to, that only really you can help with. It could also be that your private arrangement nga before is gone because that relative either passed away or had left. So circumstances that will change. So whereas before, meron kayong you have an arrangement, now the arrangement is gone. If it's gone, say why. What has changed? Why is it now you're applying under the adult dependent route? So don't just limit it to the actual rule, which is set out by Appendix FM. Do not forget to also deal with Article 8. Now, importante yon dahil Article 8 is actually the thing that gives you a right to appeal if it's refused. So at the very least, mention it. Article 8, human rights. So they will look at exceptional circumstances. Now, if you are one of the lucky ones, and in 2015, only 50 applications were granted, your relative will then be provided with indefinite leave to remain. Indefinite leave to remain is exactly that, settlement status in the United Kingdom. So it would be, it means that they can live here permanently, which would be great news. Now, even though they have indefinite leave to remain, they're treated differently to some extent to others who are coming in, say, as your spouse, or indeed as your child. So here, because there's concern the pagka nandito nga sila, that they'll be reliant on public funds, the sponsor will usually be required to provide an undertaking to say that you're going to be responsible for their care and maintenance, and they're not going to be reliant on public funds for the next 5 years. So you are responsible for their care. Now, public funds are a housing benefit, universal credit, but not NHS. No? So NHS actually is not public funds. So they can have recourse to NHS, but be careful nga there, no? Because if the Home Office thinks that they only applied so that they can have recourse to to the NHS, then they may rescind the grant of leave. So there, as I say, be careful. Now, as I've said before, if it's refused, then because of the type of application you're making, there should be a right of appeal. And that right of appeal, nandun nga sila, the applicant is outside the United Kingdom, that needs to be exercised within 28 days. No? So the upshot of it is this. It's a difficult application to make. And you have to be careful when you make that application because, of course, if you make the application and it's refused, any subsequent applications nga may be jeopardized. So kung papasok sila dito as a visitor, it may be that they don't get a visitor visa dahil hindi sila naniniwala na aalis pa sila. No? So if you're making the application, make sure you make a good application by providing all the evidence that's required. Look at the rules. As I say, it's under Appendix FM. And make sure you have medical evidence, you have your statement nga, you've done your research if you're looking at care homes and other things like that. So deal with all the points. It's not impossible, but it is difficult. But if you're, by the same token, of course, kung anak nyo, so for example, I had at least half a dozen inquiries nga this week. So the child is now adult, so 30. So one for example inquired, nandun nga sa atin, very qualified yung bata, but I say bata, 30 years old na nga siya, wants to come into the UK, wala na silang pamilya doon, siya na lang nga natira, everyone else is in the UK. So ang question sa akin is, can she apply under the adult dependent route? I had to say, unfortunately, it's unlikely to succeed. So they needed to look at other options nga. But it is not an impossible route, but it is difficult. So be prepared.
Ayan, no? Hindi impossible pero difficult. I remember, itong statistics na binibigay mo, attorney, 2015, because I remember a lot of things have changed since 2012, di ba? Was that the one? Yan ang di ba, nung nagbago ng 2012 where hindi ko makalimutan yan when I was kind of new kasi yung the dependents are classified into one below 18 and the other is above 65 yata, di ba? Ng mga parents or grandparents na yan, no? So, ayan. Yung route na yan actually, madali yan kung EU dependent nung araw. Because I don't know if I mentioned this to you before. Meron akong na-meet na galing daw siya Dubai. Punta siya nakapasok sa UK because of her sister who took her, who parang inano siya as in-apply siya as EEA dependent nung panahon na yun.
Yeah. So,
teka muna. No recourse to public funds, ibig sabihin they can have recourse to public funds except NHS?
No. So, no recourse to public funds.
No recourse. No recourse talaga.
No recourse.
Paano pag nagkasakit, private? Kailangan ganon. They have to spend out of their pocket. No, ganon. Kasi automatic,
no,
diba?
NHS is okay.
NHS is okay, okay.
Yeah, NHS is okay. So, public funds would be yung housing benefit o kaya universal credit.
Hindi pwede.
So, personal independent payment, ganon, PIP, no? But NHS is okay. But again, be careful if you're claiming that what they don't want is that people apply with the sole purpose nga of coming in and relying on the NHS. Yun ayaw nila. But yeah, so if you need the NHS, you can.
Parang almost say 9% or something, no? Yung out of 452, 50 lang ang nag-grant, no? Pero yung doon sa 52 na yun, 28 ang medyo dumaan pa ng konti sa konting, di ba? Hindi basta-basta. The 21 was okay, straight away. 22 yata. Granted, di ba? Sa initial decision, no? So, what happened? What has happened so far? This is 2015, 2020, let's say last year. Ano ang status pa rin? Wala pa rin halos, ano? Have you got any statistics
Yeah.
na mahirap pa rin ba?
Um,
May natanggap pa ba?
yeah, I mean, I suspect that the statistics are probably worse. No, I could not find at my investigation what the current statistics are. But one thing also what's telling is in July, between July 2022, when
Okay.
the rule changed, until the end of that year, okay, so in the 6-month period, yeah, only one application was granted.
Wow. Ganun katindi, ah. Talagang ganun katindi.
Yeah.
Well,
talagang nagbago.
okay. Siguro talagang very exceptional. Di ba? Lalo na yung sinasabi mo, kailangan may eksperto talaga to evidence that they are talagang, ano, di ba? Yung
Yeah.
may sakit ba? Would really need, ano ba yan? Long-term care. No? It has to be evidenced.
Yeah.
So matrabaho yan. Talagang matrabaho, no? And it's kind of difficult. Wala, halos
So,
no. Ikaw, in the last, so say for example, since 2013 lang, sabihin na natin, no, 2012, nakapag, ano ka ba? Were you able to handle this kind of a case? Or have you had a
yeah.
chance to handle these cases?
Yeah, no, it's not as common nga as other applications, no. So it's a spouse application, children application, or together. Those types of family applications, they're for me, it's extremely common, no. Entry clearance visa to come into the UK. Now, for the adult dependent route, I would say in the last let's say in the last 4 years, no, or indeed even 5, you're probably looking at we probably had one a year, no. That's how uncommon it is. Now, I'll give you an example of what I did in relation to one of my cases nga. So, the applicant, yung nasa atin nga, so yung sponsor nandito, no? Nandito yung tatay. Now, yung bata,
Teka muna. Bata na over 18 to.
over 18.
Oh, 18,
Well, sabi
okay.
ko bata, pero hindi naman na bata.
Okay,
pero
anak. Kasi akala ko kasi kinukuha yung
yung anak.
matanda. Biglang sabi mo, father eh. Okay, so anak, okay.
Yeah. So, nandito yung tatay, yung anak nasa atin, no?
Okay.
Now, yung anak, unfortunately, he has mental age of 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, inalagaan,
okay.
Yeah. So, inalagaan nga siya nung auntie niya. And unfortunately, auntie namatay, no? So,
Okay.
And there's no one else nga
Wala yung nanay.
in the Philippines who can. Wala yung nanay. Umalis na yung nanay, matagawa na nga yung bata, no? So, so there's no one else actually sa Pinas who can look after the chap, no? So now we made an application. So there, I mean, I was very keen that we don't get a refusal, obviously we don't want any refusal, but there was also some urgency, no? Because he was not terribly well, yung anak, no? So there, apart from the birth certificate, of course, no, to establish relationship, the income of the father who was earning a healthy sum in the UK, and meron nga siyang accommodation dito. There, I also obtained a psychiatrist to report, no? That was extremely helpful. And then I also looked up. I did quite a bit of research on potential residential homes, care homes nga doon sa kanila. And actually, in the whole, not just in the province, but that in fact that whole part, no, of the Philippines. And fortunately, even though it was refused at the outset, after asking for the enter clearance manager to look at it, they overturned. So, so it's not, I mean, I can say for certain, it's not impossible, but this is one of those applications you really need to work and make sure nga na kumpleto kayo, because it's so easy nga for the Home Office to refuse. but it's not impossible. You do need to work for it. But if you think na hindi, look, kung yung anak walang problema, quite healthy, yung nga lang walang trabaho o gusto nilang magkapiling nga dito, there's no point making that application. Mari-refuse nga lang siya. So in some cases, I say, look, this does not work. Pero tingnan yung, are there other options? No, the skilled worker route would be a possibility, for example, or maybe as a student, if they want not to study in the UK, but to use the adult dependent route only, of course, if it's appropriate. No? Otherwise, you have a refusal, and the fee at the moment is a huge amount. I think it's over £3,000. Actually, I did look it up. 3,200. Yeah, 3,250 ang pagbayad. So it's not cheap.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pero other than this, diba, sabi mo, you have to be very careful kasi you have to really prepare kasi once na refuse ka, it can also affect, for example, you want to come back on a visitor's visa, baka hindi ka rin ma-approvahan dahil they might think na, oy, may plano tong di ba? May plano to sila ganun, no? Okay.
Yeah, tama ka.
Alright.
Yeah, exacto.
May maganda to, no? Kung mayroon ho kayo mga tanong, mga kaibigan, so open na tayo. So at least kung may tanong din kayo doon, follow up sa dinidiscuss ni attorney, no? Eto, may notes ako, ha? Ayan, mga notes ko yan, no? Ha? O, kasi kina-classify natin adult dependents, kaya simula pa lang, sino yan? O, yun. So, parent, grandparents, brother, sister, son, and daughter, except uncles, ganyan, wala na yun. So, parang ano yan parang bawal na sa merong mga sa law, di ba, yung mga fourth degree of consanguinity, mga gano'n, di ba? Parang we cannot marry a first cousin, mga gano'n, di ba? Bawal sa civil code, sa civil law, no? Kasi fourth level gano'n, sa bagay, kung nag-iba mahalan. Pero bawal sa law, no? Batas yata na yung fourth degree level of consanguinity, no? From you to your parents, to your grandparents, going back to the brother or sister ng father mo, going down to your cousin, no? First cousin mo. Hindi po pwede. Okay. Basahin natin yung mga pagbati ng mga ating mga kababayan, no? At mahal na mahal tayo ng mga to. Si Miss Giling, di ba? Minsan nag-apologize na late siya. Nalilate siya, attorney, pag nakakapanood yan. Parang hindi na siya mapakali. Parang ang laki ng guilt niya pag hindi siya nakapanood sa atin. Okay. Ito, yan. Uy, good evening. Ano to? Ano ba yung message na yan? Mabasa mo ba, attorney?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, si Marie.
Marie.
Good evening. Okay lang ba, Marie? Yung number mo, ibigay ko kay attorney, no? Ayan. Tapos pag matawagan ka. Yan. So, okay. Sino pa ba mga mabati sa ating attorney?
Ayan. Hello, Miss Fairbank.
Ayan. Oo. Miss Fairbank. Teka muna, ha? Ayan. So, okay. Ito, ayan. Hello. Mababasa mo ba, attorney?
Yeah, sure. So,
Pakibasa
Galicia. Oh, Miss Paner. Oh, hello, Miss Paner. Hello po, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday sa iyo din po.
From Cheltenham.
Sa lahat, I'm watching from Cheltenham, of course.
Cheltenham, wow. Mabuhay. Si Miss Paner, no? Kilala mo ba yung may singer sa Pilipinas? Hindi ko alam kung nakaalis ka na, no? Si Christina Paner, who was adopted by yung basketball player na si teka muna, nasan ba tayo? Bali yata. Okay, ito unang message yata. Bumati na sa atin si Fairbank. Marie Fairbank. Good evening, watching from Maida Vale. Ayan. Tapos, ito, yung kaibigan natin, no? Pati yung families, pati si Mia. Ayan.
Libro.
Hi, Sir Sonny, no? Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday all. From Rudy Libroho. Rudy, mabuhay, ha? Ayan, yung ating, the father of our future superstar na Pinay, no, na who knows, di ba, makapasok na and she would make us proud. Mostly na composer, singer yung anak niyan. Okay, itong tao na to, hindi ko alam siguro pag we have to meet her dahil hindi tayo sinasagot kung how to pronounce yung kanyang apelido o pangalan. So, Marinel, alam natin, pero Oyahimye. Good evening again, Sir Sonny and Attorney Lira, listening from W10. Sa mga W10? Where is W10, attorney?
Oh,
Would you know?
W10.
So West 10.
I think isn't that
Ay, taka na. Attorney.
Finchley, Finchley?
Nawala si attorney. Ba't nawala ka?
Oh,
Attorney? Ako ba nawala?
yeah.
Teka muna. Ako yata nawala eh.
Yes.
Nawala yung aking headset ba? Teka muna.
You
Nawala
are
ba?
showing.
Teka, na maglagay lang ako ng parang kunyari music lang dito. Tingnan natin kung ako ang sa akin ang nawala. Sandali lang, attorney ha. Check lang natin. Ako nga ang nawala.
Oh?
Nako, paano ba ngayon to? Nawala yung audio ko, hindi ko marinig. Teka muna. I'll have to go to my usual earpiece, no? Kasi attorney, ikaw na muna. Pero hindi, sayang, hindi kita marinig eh. I wouldn't be able to hear you. Sandali lang ha. I'll just get hold of my headset, earpiece.
Yeah.
Nawala yung aking audio sa tenga ko.
Miss Marinel?
Pasensya na ho kayo ha. At ayan, sandali lang ho. Nasa ba yung ating... Ayan. Teka muna. Attorney, ikaw nga magbasa nga muna niyan. Teka muna ha. Si attorney.
Yeah, sure.
Si attorney. Ayan, ito.
Sure. Ako.
Alright.
So for Miss Marinel, good evening again, Sir Sonny and Attorney Lara, listening from W10. Now, I think, Miss Marinel, saan ba yung W10? I think that's Finchley, London, di ba? I hope everything's okay with you there. London being quite busy. So hello po. And do one of these days, kailangan mong tumawag and tell us how you pronounce nga yung first name mo or last name mo. Oh, ano ang ginagawa ni Sonny doon? Also, anyone who has questions po, even if it's not to do with adult dependent, by all means, make contact with us because I'm more than happy with it. Actually, just on that note, last week, meron tayong kabayan, ang tanong niya sa akin, and it was a very interesting question. It took me, even now, I haven't got to the bottom of it. So, but yung question niya, nandito siya, tier 2, dependent, no? Oh, narinig mo na ako, Sonny?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sige, go. Yeah, go.
Okay.
As you were saying, yes.
So now, so I was just saying, one of yung questions nga from last week, yung kababayan natin, sabi niya, he's here, Pinoy siya, he's here on tier 2 dependent, together with a child, at least one child.
Ano yung tier 2 dependent mo na, attorney? Baka, may nakikinig sa atin yung mga dito sa UK at saka sa buong mundo, no? At sa buong Europe, na? Meron tayong taga Belgium na nakikinig sa atin. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, tama ka.
Tier 2,
So tier 2 is in the olden days the work permit. So nandito siya as a work permit dependent or tier 2 dependent nga. Now, and he had a very interesting scenario. So, they came from Italy and now they want to go back to Italy and obtain Italian nationality.
Oh, yeah, ito yung last week. Ito yung last week.
Yeah, ito yung last week.
Yeah. Oh,
and
okay.
So, it was
they were in a quandary, di ba?
It's frankly, it's baffled me because it's one of those things nga where there's no immediate answer. I mean, lots of things there have no immediate answers, but this one especially. So, I've been, I don't think I've got to the bottom of it. So, so what I would say though is this: the BRP, yung card nyo, no, that does not become invalid just because you change nationality. Okay. So and hindi naman nakatatak dun sa passport mo din, no? So you have your card already. So, but the issue will be this: if you obtain a different citizenship, as I understand it, under Philippine law, and I'm happy to be corrected by anyone who's much more qualified than I am about Philippine law, you lose then your citizenship, daw, as for my reading. Now, I don't know though whether that happens nga immediately. If it happens immediately, so lalabas sila, Filipino passport nga. They go to Italy, then they obtain nationality as an Italian. If in obtaining the citizenship as Italian nga, you immediately cease becoming Filipino because you have to then reacquire it, then ibig sabihin yung passport niya, the Philippine passport, becomes invalid. So the issue would be not so much yung visa, it would be more, pagkapapasok siya dito, babalik nga siya sa UK, he will then be using a passport that's been invalidated, or that's no longer valid because he lost his citizenship, no? And so that would be more the problem, because you can't enter the UK without a valid travel document, such as say a passport, no? But if he can get immediately also a passport nga there, an Italian passport, and then he's coming into the United Kingdom, his Tier 2 visa should still be valid. Also, I mean, taking it a little bit further, pagka nag-book siya ng ticket, no? A return ticket to go in and out of go to Italy and come back from Italy to the United Kingdom. It means then that the ticket may be invalid because nilagay mo Filipino passport holder ka. See? So it's a very interesting question, and I haven't quite got to the bottom of it, no? So it just shows you, this is one of the reasons why I love this program, no? That, it comes up with such that's just interesting scenarios. So it's one of those emails. Pagka nag-email kayo sa akin, please put in the subject immigration corner. So I find it again, because this was emailed. They very kindly emailed me, but the problem is I can't find the email again. I don't know whether the email also contained the telephone number. So if you're watching, please give me your telephone number. Tatawagan kita, because it's a very interesting scenario.
Naalala ko yan, parang yata, kakilala ni Edgar Duway, and dun sa ating thread, nagpapasalamat siya kay Edgar Duway, yung ating one of our regular friends ng show. We don't call them our viewers, no? We don't call them our fans, we call them our friends, no? They're friends of the program. So ito yung mga happy people, no? So yeah, kung nanonood ka, no, I think lalaki yung pangalan pre, thank you, parang ganun So and he promised to email daw, sabi niya, di ba, sa messages natin. So okay, sige, kung makuha mo yung number, mag-message ka ulit, no? Kasi this is quite interesting. It not only it's a learning thing for all of us, no? Na kasi interesting yan Pero teka muna, nasabi mo, attorney, in terms of tickets, some people do strategies. For example, they're going back to the Philippines. They have their Philippine passport. When they're coming back to the UK, they show their British passport. Pwede naman, di ba? Pwede naman. Inaano ba yan? Di ba? Pwede naman. Interchangeable. Yeah. Except yung sinasabi ng Italian, automatic ba? As soon as they've had their Italian passport, ano tawag dito? Wala na? Pasunay ka na lang ng Philippine passport?
The citizenship, which of course means the passport, also. So my reading, and I've not gone into it in any great detail other than some basic research, is as soon as you acquire another citizenship, pasunay yung citizenship natin as Filipino, you actually need to reacquire it, So if you're no longer a citizen, if you lose your citizenship, it means that your passport, of course, which was issued because you're Filipino, also becomes invalid. Okay. So it's a bit of a conundrum, really, because I mean, I hope he can get a new passport, the Italian passport already. But if he can't, what do you do then? So I mean, one other possibility, given the COVID restrictions against traveling at the moment, is tignan mo nga, if you have not done so already, tignan mo, is it something that you can actually undertake this citizenship nga at the embassy, the Italian embassy in London,
without leaving, the UK? Baka sakali, baka pwede siguro. Okay. Ito, Marie Fairbanks, sabi niya, ito may question. Same-sex marriage, what's the first action to do? Engage stage na gusto nilang magpakasal na? Baka engage state na ito, One partner have tourist visa, the other one British
siguro.
Parang naputol putol British.
Yeah.
British. The other one British citizen, yes. But I'm not discussing this.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the question, Ms. Fairbank, because it's actually quite it's apart from it being an interesting question, it's actually a scenario that affects a lot of people. So, my advice would be very similar actually to whatever really, if it's a same-sex relationship or indeed not. So, if they're looking to marry, so the position scenario is they want to marry in the UK. One is one is tourist visa, one is British. Now, you can marry in the UK or they can marry in the United Kingdom, but they need to see the designated registrar. No? And the designated registrar will then assess, are there any concerns, for example. Tapos, they will report actually to the Home Office. The Home Office will then make contact now with the applicants to say if they want to extend the 28 days usual notice to 70, or do they want to interview them, for example. So the quick answer is they can do that. They can still marry kahit nga, tourist visa nga siya, but there's an additional concern, and that would be that they need to give notice to the designated registrar. Once they are married, the next step then is, of course, to apply to regularize their stay in the UK, which there's a bit more to it, because there you need to be able to show that the relationship, of course, is genuine, that he's able to support, for example, there's accommodation. So all those things also need to be considered. So it is it can be done, but before you marry, and certainly after you marry, when you make an application, it's important you seek advice, or they seek advice. Sorry, Sonny.
Ay, sabi ko, to seek advice. Sabi ko kay attorney na. Sabi mo, they should seek advice. So, andyan si attorney, no? Ito, Belgium. Kaya sinasabi ko, mahal tayo sa Belgium is, ito si Belgium, ano pangalan nito? Si Darmin Balarinon. Ayan. Cute-cute na anak niya, no? Si Amira.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ayan.
Good evening
Darmin,
po.
Good evening po. Yes. Ito ano natin to? Top fan. Yun, di ba? Usually sa Facebook nakalagay, nag-share or whatever. Okay. Ito, top fan. Kaya siguro, attorney, pagka maluwag-luwag na we have to treat this person as a merienda or something, no? Si Emmeline Rafael. Siya lang ang namumugot tangi naka-all caps sa atin. Hindi ko alam kung galit yan o gusto niya lang ipakitang mahal na mahal namin sila, attorney, at saka si SONNY LARAGAN, kaya't naka-all caps tayo. Mabuhay ka, ha? Ayan. Ito, si Miss Giling. Si Giling, no?
No? Hello, Miss Giling. Yeah. So, yeah. So, sabi niya, no? Hi, good evening po, and happy Thursday, Sir Sonny and Ma'am Lira. Miss you po.
Pero hindi ito yung dinadala ni sa'yo, no? Ni MM, no? Ni Miss Giling, no? Hindi yata, hindi ito yun, no?
She gives me bagoong.
Bagoong. Bagoong. Sarap niya, Miss Giling.
Miss Giling is my supplier bagoong.
Oh, wow.
So, no, it's we like Miss Giling.
Miss Giling, maganda yan sa mangga, no? Thank you, Miss Giling, kay attorney. Hindi sama na rin ako ron. Ito si Juliet Alviedo Marcelino, attorney. Sabi niya, good evening, Sonny and attorney Lira. Happy Thursday, everyone, no? So parang feeling na talaga happy na sila. Makita lang tayo. O siguro ikaw, attorney, na happy sila. Sabi nila, nako, may malalaman na naman kami. Ayan, yung kasama ni SONNY. Then ako, amuyong lang, talagang ako alalay lang ni attorney, no? Lira. Belen Anderson, sabi niya, Cherry May Fernandez. Hindi ko alam bakit binagyan niya Cherry. Siguro sabi niya, oy, Cherry May, manood ka at magtanong ka. Siguro yung ibig sabihin niya siguro, no? Lorraine, actually marami ako nakita mga pangalan ditong bago na naman, no? So it's good na we have a lot of new viewers, no? Lorraine Cantos, sabi niya, happy Thursday po. Ayun. Yamil
look at
Acosta.
Her picture. Gorgeous.
Nakita mo maganda. Yeah. Ito maganda.
Yeah, Miss Acosta with the
mata lang yung patunong niya mata ano lang yan. Good evening, attorney Lira at Sir SONNY, watching from London. Ito, kaibigan ni ni Emmeline Rafael. Pareho sila naka all caps. Masaya talaga, no? Ito si Ma'am Cora Carsola, no? Good evening, Sir SONNY, attorney Lira and all. Siguro kung meron mga naglalaban ng valedictorian dito sa nanonood sa Immigration Corner, ito yung dalawa na to, naglalaban to, si Emmeline Rafael at saka si Ma'am Cora Carzola. Yan, no? Isang salutatorian, isang valedictorian siguro sa ating klase, no? Dito sa ating legal immigration corner natin. Dory Makatangkop. Ayun. Good evening everyone. Sabi niya, Dory, mabuhay, no? Thank you very much for watching. Angie Pajarillo Balmores. Ayun. Ito, kilala mo yata ito, attorney, si Neneng Boyose. Di ba?
Yes.
Si Boyose, no? Good
Yes,
evening, Sir Sonny.
Boyose.
And Attorney Pineda. Ayan. Attorney Lira pala, kasi kasunod kasi Franz Pinedo, kaya akala ko Pinedo. Good evening po, Sir Sonny and Attorney Lira, and to everyone, stay safe po. Ayun. Okay. Edgar Duway, ayan, si Edgar Duway. Edgar, yung kaibigan mo, yung binabanggit ni Attorney about this Italian thing, no? Happy Thursday, Attorney LC and SL. Ayun. Good evening. Si Edgardo Cagahastian Enriquez, Attorney. Ayun. Good evening, Kuya Sunny, Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday to everyone. Stay safe. Oy, stay safe din, no? Mabuhay. May tanong. Provided na di mo alam na may anak ka pala sa Pinas and now 21 na siya at isa na siyang civil engineer. One day, Once DNA can provide, Once DNA can provide evidence na anak nga siya, can this be still considered in the visa applications? Pero overage na, di ba? Parang ito, adult.
Yeah.
On the grounds that you don't know and you have duty to do to the adult dependent, or the adult dependent just have to apply on working visa route and the father have to help with sponsorship. Kung adult dependent, mahirapan.
Yeah, yun na nga, Mr. Duway, yun nga. So it's one of those things. Naintindihan ko, hindi mo nga alam, tapos you found out, but by then 21 na nga siya. You want to do the right thing. You want to have do your duty and obviously provide and help him or her nga, no? But unfortunately, 18 po ang limit eh. So I think there kailangan yung tingnan other possibilities, no? Such as say the skilled worker route or student visa, but 21 is over 18, unfortunately. So I suspect not.
Ayan. May ang dami mga messages na meron kasi mga very controversial, pero wag na muna. Siguro pagka sige, okay, pagka gusto niyo rin magtanong, siguro we will open the lines in future, no? Kung gusto niyo yung attorney, baka sakali lang, no? Yung may mga simple questions, may mga questions, I should say. So, ayan, binabasa lang natin attorney to kasi nagtiyaga sila mag-message, so we'd like to read out their messages, no? Sir Sonny and Attorney Lira, good evening po. Ayan, si Mary Grace, ano pangalan niya, attorney? Payumo Sorilla.
Nice.
Bumati uli si hello Lira, no? Ayan, si Marie talaga kakontakan ka ni attorney, no? Pero siya siguro bibigyan natin yung number ni Marie sa'yo para ma-contact mo, no? Bing Tubera. Good evening, watching from Woking. Woking to. Ayun. Nakikita ba? Ayan,
Gabi po.
Ayan, mag-asawa ba yan? Asawa, no? Evelyn Anding, good evening to everyone po. Keep safe and God bless. Napaka-sweet naman, no? Very caring. Ito naman si Christopher Dueñas Inocencio. Good evening, sir, and attorney. Ito, may tanong ba to? Don, Jemala Mahler? M-A-H-L-E-R ba yan, attorney? Hi, how about parents, senior citizen? Can they apply to join family members' daughter in the UK? Ako, na-late yata nakinig to si Don, no?
Yeah. So, Don, pwede, yung nga lang, mahirap, no? So,
possible but difficult. Possible but difficult.
Ayan,
no?
Yeah. So, it's under the adult-dependent route. So, possible, but it's difficult. So, nga sabi namin kanina, parent, absolutely, you can. Yung nga lang, kailangan yung pakita, amongst other things, that's the result of age, illness, disability, kailangan nila long-term personal care, and that can't be provided in the Philippines, either because there's no one there available, it's not affordable, no? So it's quite a difficult nga application to make. So yes, but with qualifications.
Ayan, oo. Okay, with qualifications, yes. It's a difficult application to make, but it's possible, no? Sige. Pero mahal pa. Attorney, mahal pa yan. So pag sumabit ka, pumalpak pa yung application mo, nakaltasan ka naman ka, $3,500, $250. Tama ba yan? Ay, dollars tuloy. Pounds, I should say pounds. Dollars tuloy. Okay. Sabi ni Edgar, I will tell them yung sa ano, no? Yung, okay. Kasi ano yata sila, they are, ano yan, hindi ko alam yung We Are SLS Family Support Bubble. Okay, may question niya, attorney. May question dito. Sabi ganon, hi, Attorney Lira. Me and daughter is holding Filipino passport. But we have ILR na po. My concern is, ako po myself parang nagdadalawang isip. Nagdadalawang isip pa mag-British. But I've been told that my daughter can have English passport since dito na siya lumaki. Ganun ba yun? Pagka Philippine passport, lumaki. Dito ba pinanganak? Hindi. They both hold Filipino passports eh.
Okay. Yeah, but you still
get, diba?
Yes,
me and my daughter,
so,
go ahead, attorney.
So Filipino passport holders sila. Now they have but they have ILR. Now, so nagdadalawang isip niya kung papalitan niya o kung to get dual, and anyway the child is now also, so she's told that the child can also become British. Now, if she was born in the UK, so sometimes someone's born in the UK but actually they don't bother getting the Filipino passport.
Okay.
They don't get bother getting the British passport. They get Filipino passport. They are absolutely entitled also to dito sa
okay.
And you now have ILR. They can apply for a British passport. That ILR ka indefinite leave to remain ka na. Now, so if you got your ILR later on, no, they can still apply to become British by applying for what's called registration rather than diretsong British passport. So, kung nagdadalawang isip mo whether to do it or not, it depends really kung ang situation mo, no? Meron tayong mga kababayan, ayaw nga nila, and they don't see any need for it because they're going to go back and establish their lives nga in the Philippines. And that's fair enough also. But kung nandito nga ang anak mo, and she's studying here, you may find actually in the long term, if not, even if it's not permanent, but probably in the long term, nandito na nga kayo. So there are advantages to also obtaining a British passport nga. And anyway, you can also become dual. So so you don't lose the benefits also, of course, remaining Filipino. So on a practical level, it's probably not a bad idea. At it.
Oh, practical, because it would be easier for you to travel. You don't need to get visas going to some other European countries, no? Pagbalik mo, madali na lang, wala nang problema. So, ayan.
Yeah.
Okay, si Marie ulit. Talagang andito talagang si Marie, no? Talagang si Marie Fairbanks. Sabi niya, Attorney, thank you, Attorney Lira. Sabi niya, no? I will let the couple call you. Ayun. Okay.
Please.
Alright. Thank you, ha. Thank you. Hindi, kasi yan, pag-ibig yan, pagmamahalan yan, di ba? Di ba? Ang love.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Love month ngayon,
yeah,
Attorney.
no,
Love month ngayon.
Ano
sorry, you were about to say na-interrupt.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Go. Ano, yan
No,
sinasabi mo?
I was just saying, Miss Fairbank, pagka tumawag yung kaibigan mo, sabihin nga lang nila, they're calling from you, and I will definitely take their call, no? Because they're coming from you, definitely.
Alright. O yan ha, Maria, narinig mo. Dahil siyempre, ano, hindi kasi nag-uusap, tapos message pa yan, gabing-gabi na, kaibigan natin yan. Very, very good person, no? Okay yan. I met her when I was starting the radio, no? Andito pa si Deputy Ambassador Ray Katapang, no? Yan, si Marie. So, masasabi natin, si Marie ang one of the first Filipinos that I've met here in the UK, because I had a very simple na aking buhay noong araw, Attorney. I mean, bahay, ano lang, it all started when nagpadala ako ng pera sa Parochilen. And then sabi nung si Parochilen, yung babae, yung may-ari, oh, ganda ng boses mo. Pwede kang ay, ate ko, yung yung may-ari yung Tere Valencia, sabi niya, siyang nagpapatakbo ng Modern Body Fiesta para ikaw na lang mag-MC, ganon. And ever since then, ever since siguro mga 10, 11, 12, gaano katagal tumakbo ang Morden. Ako ang MC ng Morden. So ayan, no. So ayan ano ba tayo dito? Ba't ko ba naalala yun? Hindi kasi mga first people, di ba? Kasi I lived a very quiet life before I started the radio. Ayun. Okay. Marian.
It's not quiet anymore though, ah?
Oh, hindi na. Lalo naging happy, no? Oo, laging na. Well, okay naman. I'm happy kasi kamukha nito, we people are learning from us, no? Marian, ano pangalan niya, attorney? Marian Basinga Etang. Sabi niya, good evening po, attorney and Sir Sonny watching from Andover. I am holding ILR po. Tanong ko lang po, how much would it cost to apply process for British passport or apply or process for British passport?
Okay, so if you're already holding ILR, depends really, of course, kung when you got your ILR. No, if you got it fairly recently, then you will have done the English language and the
life in the UK test.
Life in the UK.
Oh.
Yeah? Now, if you got it a long time ago, which some of my clients have, then it could be that you didn't do either one, so you need to do those. Now, so there's the cost of doing that. Now, also there's I can never remember the natural. So unang-una, you need to become naturalized. So there are two stages to getting a British passport. So to become naturalized, you need to make an application. Yeah, and I think the fee is a little over £2,000 from memory. I can't remember. Now, once you become naturalized, and that's the time that you do your oath taking, no? Then you apply for British passport. The British passport itself, it doesn't cost very much, frankly. But because it's your first passport, they may, in the past they'd want to interview you, but I think they don't actually do that very much now. But it's not, in the scheme of things, no, it's not as difficult an application as others. No, it can be quite complex. So the answer is, there are two stages. There are different fees. The more expensive is the naturalization.
Okay. Yes. Okay. The most magkano naturalization, attorney?
Yeah, I think it's a little over £2,000 the application. Yeah.
At ang mahal nitong tong dependent pagka di ba? Mapalpa ka pero 3,250. Ang mahal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Di ba?
Yeah, yung nga lang, the good thing with that is you don't have to pay the IHS, no? Usually meron kang IHS fee on top of any home office fee. That's the fee that you pay because you're applying for indefinite leave to remain.
Ayan, okay. Ayan ha. So, okay. Okay. Pero kung meron ka pa additional question Marian ba yun? Belen Anderton kasi nasanay tayo, regular Anderson, no? Anderton, parang bago yan. Yes, I'm new viewer din po and encouraging my friend to watch too. Good evening po. Okay. Uy, paki-share.
Salamat po.
All the programs here, Legal Advice Corner, Immigration Corner, yung aking program, the SONNY LARAGAN Show, i-share ho lang ninyo because this is our way of disseminating these wonderful things that we're doing. At maganda, this is our virtual social bubble. Di ba? Maski paano, happy na Thursday nyo, maganda pa, may natututunan pa kayo. In fact, attorney, meron tayong mga brigade ngayon. Sometimes, hindi naman ako, how do you call it, hindi naman trolling yun. Basta, minsan napapasyal ka sa mga social media group, Facebook groups, yung mga listeners natin, viewers natin, ikaw ang nire-recommenda. May nagtanong about immigration. Si Attorney Lira. Ayan, sila Edgar Duway, nakikita ko yung mga...
That's nice.
Oo, meron ka, lahat ng mga viewers natin dito, ikaw ano mo yun, mga brigade mo yun. Oo, so pag ayan, doon ka sa gano'n, nila, kipag-away pa sila. Ayan, so thank you.
Salamat po.
Oo, salamat. Kaya share nyo lang ho. Share na lang ho kami rito. Abangan ho ninyo. We will be having more, siguro, wonderful programs. This program ho, it started as a segment. This is the SONNY LARAGAN Show, and it became a segment. And naging we developed it into a show of its own, no? So, ayan. Okay, so, asan ba? Ito, si Virginia Elona. Ito, Sweden to, attorney.
Oh, hello.
Happy Thursday, Kuya Sunny. And sasakaling kita, Virginia, may Kuya Sunny ka pa. Happy Thursday, Kuya Sunny, Attorney Lira. If they can, if they can't apply adult dependent visa due to overage, can apply ancestry visa. If they have ancestry visa, dali ha. Tapusin ko, hindi na putol ka sa attorney. Happy Thursday, Kuya Sunny and Attorney Lira. If they can't apply adult dependent visa due to overage, can they apply for an ancestry visa if they have grandparents born in the UK?
Now,
Sa Spain, ganyan
ancestry,
pwede. Oh yeah, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. No, the ancestry visa is actually quite it's a subject I very rarely have the pleasure now of dealing with. But from memory, the ancestry visa is actually more to do, I think, with Commonwealth, countries. But the adult dependent visa is not actually age dependent. Hindi na. It's the adult dependent visa. Well, I mean, it's age dependent in that you have to be over the age now of 18, which is if you're under 18, of course, then you're making an application if you're a family member under the normal route. So I wouldn't worry about being over age under the adult dependent visa. That wouldn't be a problem.
Basta anybody over 18, adult dependent na yun. Even you go beyond 65, adult dependent pa rin yun. No? That will be classified as adult dependent. Okay. Attorney, ito, bumalik sinagot niya ni Marian Besinga ba to? Besinga. Etang. I've done my life in the UK and English test po. Thank you po so much, attorney. It helps a lot. Ayan. Makakatulog siya na mahimbing ngayon, ha? Ngayong gabi, no? Galit na galit si Nening Boyose. Pasensya na, papasahin ko. Pasensya na ho. Tingnan ko baka bumalik pa, no? Kasi meron ho kasi mga pasensya na. We've been always telling them to them naman. Minsan kasi may nakakalusot na nakaka-slip through the net, attorney, di ba? Na hindi natin babasa dito. Pasensya lang ho, no? Ano ba tawag dito? There are some na nakakalusot. Si Neneng pala may tanong. Sabi niya, may tanong ako.
Oh, okay.
Sabi niya, may tanong ako. Sabi ni Neneng Buyose, asa na ba yun? May tanong ako. Yun. So, Attorney Lira, yung case ko sa son ko na was born here in the UK, is there a big chance na makapasok siya dito? Kasi nag-aalala talaga ako dahil this year, going to 18 na. Please email me. Email me. Buyose. Ito, bibigay ko yung email address ni attorney. Siya ba anihin nyo? So, yung yung Attorney Lira, yung son ko in case ko sa son ko, he was born here in the UK. Ano ba, inuwi siguro, no? Is there a big chance na makapasok siya dito? Kasi nag-aalala talaga ako dahil this year, going to 18 na siya, nagpapa-email siya sa Thanks. Okay.
Yeah, no, Miss Boyose, you definitely should bring him over, no? And also on top of that, it could be that he can apply, in fact, for British passport. That dito siya pinanganak. Kung indefinite ka na nung pinanganak siya, or British ka na nung pinanganak siya, he would actually be entitled to British passport. No. Now, kung hindi ka pa indefinite nung pinanganak siya, pero dito siya pinanganak, then it could be that he can apply to be registered. And if he's registered, then he would be entitled also to a British passport. So it's you should do it. No, it's also the fees are going up and up. No, in the past, sabi nila, the fees can go up and it can go down, but I've never ever seen it go down. So if you're making an application, you should make an application sooner rather than later.
Ano yan? Is the 18 age immaterial? Can he apply 18, 19, 20 for his passport, for his, di ba, yung niya, no? Yung kanyang, pwede, no? Hindi po, okay. Para kasi the thought kasi is, pagka-dependent, di ba, hinahabol natin before 18. So ito, dahil pinanganak dito, di ba? So, can 19 pa yan? Okay lang? 20, can he cure it? Is it, it can be remedied? Ay, nawala si attorney. Sadali na.
Sorry.
Attorney, nawala ka first few seconds. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So yun. No, if he's entitled to British passport, dahil British nga siya, it doesn't matter kung anong edad niya, no? Now, so it doesn't, the age does not make any difference. If you're British, then you can apply for British passport at any time.
Ayun. Oh, and so hindi na yung 18. Although binanggit niya siguro because that was the thing that at the back of her mind, yung na kayo kailangan, di ba? Habulin mo na, pasok mo na yan before 18. Usually yung ganyan ang ano. Which is true naman, di ba? Kasi pagdating na ng 18, wala na, mahirapan na, no? Okay.
Yeah, pero Miss Boyoki,
yes, go ahead.
May I just suggest this? Kung hindi ka sigurado, no? Then email me nga his birth certificate. Okay? Tapos, lagay mo nga lang doon, kailan mo nakuha yung indefinite mo? O kaya kung British ka na, also when you got your British passport. Tapos, lagay mo din yung up-to-date telephone number mo, and I'll give you a buzz back.
Ayun, okay. So, yun, malinaw. Okidoki. Ito, meron si Rhea Gatchalian Attorneys. Ang sabi ni Rhea, thank you po. No? My daughter is born in the Philippines. Dependent ko siya. Ako po, mother, ayaw ko po mag-dual citizen, but my daughter is now, my daughter is now 13 years old, and she wants to be British, no? She wants to be a British in the future. Any idea po kung paano application for her?
Yeah, she needs to make an application you need to make an application for her to be registered as British nga. So she's 13 now. Matagal na nga siya dito. So you need to apply for registration.
Attorney, teka muna. Pwede ba yun? Kasi she said, my daughter, born in the Philippines, so dependent, kaya siguro nandala niya rito. Ayaw niya mag-dual citizen. Can the daughter apply for British citizenship? Pwede ba yun?
Yeah, but she's been here presumably a long time also, the daughter.
Born in the Philippines, dependent, now 13 years old. She wants to be British. Pero ba't ayaw mo? Ibig sabihin, ba't ayaw ni Rhea? I don't know kung ano reason mo, pero pwede ba yun, attorney? Yung nanay ayaw, tapos yung anak na dependent. Di ba usually, hindi naman sila mag-asawa, sila mag-ina. So, let's say, merong pumunta rito on a work permit or whatever. Di ba? Namatay yung may work permit, dinala yung dependent. Wala nang right yung dependent dahil doon lang siya nakasabit sa principal niya, di ba? So, dito.
Sure.
Paano yun?
Yeah,
Inaano ko lang, kino-correlate ko lang.
Sure. Yeah, no. And tama ka. Usually, that would be the case. But in this case nga, indefinite na silang pareho eh. No? They both have settlement status. So the daughter can actually separately
pwede na.
From Rhea make an application, say, for registration. But I mean, the concern I would have there would be really a practical one. So sabihin natin lalabas kayo tapos papasok kayo, babalik nga kayo dito, no? When you queue at the airport, no, especially 13 pa nga lang siya, you will find kung British nga siya, so she's not dual, tapos Filipino ka, you have to queue separately, no? So that can be a bit so that can be a bit difficult, no? Dahil bata pa nga siya. So look, Rhea, of course, you have your own reasons nga for not applying, but but you can, if you can reacquire your Filipino citizenship, which you can, no, there's probably no real downside to getting both, no. So at the moment, both countries allow it, and I would say it's probably a good opportunity to take up.
Okay. Well, ang dami nating mga tanong, no? Ito, basahin ko lang to, attorney, ha? Pero hindi pumasok. Pasensya na sa Raspi Gabayno Medina, no? Hindi pumasok dyan sa ating, kumbaga, yung generator ng mga messages. Sabi niya, ask ko lang, what's the news about amnesty in UK? Posible bang magbibigay sa lahat ng overlong year stay this year? Nagkaroon naman ng amnesty rito ever since, attorney? Ever since you started practicing immigration law?
Okay. Amnesty, not. Okay. The people get often use the same kind of terminology for what's called a concession. So amnesty means everyone, no? Everyone will then be granted leave to remain in the UK, regardless of circumstances. Now, so there's never been an amnesty in the United Kingdom. What have been introduced in the UK are different concessions, no? So, prime example, a long time ago now, is the domestic work concession that was introduced back in I think it was 1997 actually, and that then led to the overseas domestic worker rule, which has unfortunately also changed for the worse in 2012 nga. So there was the domestic work concession. There was also the overstayer concession, but you needed to be in the UK for a minimum 5 years. That was back in I think 2005 actually. There was also a limited concession to do with people who applied for asylum, no, who have had their applications outstanding for a long time to really be rid of the backlog. So there have been a handful of concessions, but never an amnesty. Actually, it's good. Thank you for raising this. That I've had so many also inquiries and concerns expressed that may nagsasabi, no, there's an amnesty now, bigyan mo kami ng, if you register with us, you pay this amount of money, and you're on the list for the amnesty. Don't believe them. There's no amnesty, okay? Unfortunately, at the moment. It's also probably unlikely that there will be an amnesty nga anytime soon. But there are every so often concessions introduced in the UK. And also don't forget there remains to be the long residence route kung matagal na kayo, which is the 20 years. As I've said, there are human rights possibilities kung meron nga kayong pamilya nga dito. There's the 10-year lawful residence route. So there are potential avenues nga to look at. But at the moment, amnesty, unfortunately not.
Okay, ayan. Merong may mga ano rito mga pasensya na ha, ito lumusot na naman kaya buti dino-double check ho, no. Attorney, ito si Salima, kilala mo siguro to. Si Salima Pagayon. Hi Ma'am Lira, no. Good evening. Kumusta na po? Matagal na hindi tayo nagkita. Salamat ng marami sa mga tulong mo sa akin. Stay safe, Ma'am. Matagal na hindi nagkita. Baka nakita o baka matagal ka din nakita sa TV, nakita ka ngayon. So, ayan.
Hindi, nakilala ko siya.
Ayan, maraming papasalamat eh. Okay. Sabi ni Neneng Boyose. Sandali ha. Okay. Alright. Maraming mga bumabati, nanonood. Hindi ko na babatiin na lang sa dami muna na questions natin. No? Alma Gonzaga. Tingnan ko kung nakapasok si Alma Gonzaga. Hindi yata. No? Hindi nakapasok to kay Alma Gonzaga. Ang sabi ni Alma Gonzaga, ito, pumasok, attorney. Pumasok. Ano ko lang, pasok ko lang, no? Basahin lang natin. Ito, sabi ni, ni Neneng Boyose, okay, saan na ba to? Si Neneng Boyose, nagpapasalamat siya, no? So, sabi niya, thank you for the answer. Ayan. Thank you for your, ano sabi niya? Thank you so much to hear the answer. Yan pala. Okay.
No problem.
Alma Gonzaga here has a question, attorney. Nag-email ang visa section sa akin last month na the decision has been made daw and I have to wait. I have to wait.
I've been calling them since
I applied, but until now same pa rin ang sinasabi nila. Yan, hanggang doon lang ang sentence niya.
Yeah, Miss Gonzaga, ito I would just be so kung tinawagan mo sila last month pa, no? Sabi nila, the decision has been made and just wait. That's a bit odd. That usually they actually nowadays email the decision, no? So if you've been waiting since last month, ang payo ko unang-una, tingnan mo, look at your junk emails, no? Because sometimes because it's coming out from the home office, it could be that it's gone into your junk email. So check that out. Now, if you can't get through to them, and that's often the case, at saka, it's also quite expensive to call them nga, send them a letter, no? So put it on the record na wala ka pang nakukuhang desisyon. Because the problem is, if they've made a decision, hindi mo nga lang nakuha, if it's bad news and there's a deadline to challenge nga the decision, then it's easy to miss. No? It's 14 days. So if you're worried, write them a letter. Call them anyway, but write a letter and send it by recorded post. So mapapakita mo, may ebidensya ka that you've not received it and you're waiting actually for the decision.
Okay, may pumasok na naman na question dito, attorney, from Mirna Tamayo, no? Hindi lang na pumasok sa ating system. Sabi ni Mirna Tamayo, attorney, pwede bang mag-British passport my son dito na siya pinanganak pero ang tatay niya Spanish passport pero ako ay may ID member of EU. Pwede po ba? Thanks.
Yes is the answer. If you both have, or either one of you have a permanent residence in the UK, or you have settled status under the settled status scheme. So so kung permanente na kayo dito, so under either settled status or you have PR anyway, or you have indefinite leave to remain, yes, you can.
Yun. Okay, so yes, you can, no? Sabi ni Alma Gonzaga ba? Ayan, Gonzaga. Thank you daw, no? Maraming salamat. Salamat po sa inyo. Sabi niya rito, no? Salamat po sa inyo.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you rin, no? Oo. So marami. Well, ito, gusto ko lang i-acknowledge yung mga viewers natin, attorney. Si Mila Apuyan, Martha Balcalso, Myla Powell, MC Gigi, Jun Laroya. Oy, Jun, kamusta ka na, no? Joseph Buitison, Nidia Creek. Ito yung ating very glamorous na kaibigan, no? Teresa Biscocho Sanggalang, Edeline Abadon Abada, ayan. Lourdes Cinco, uy, Lourdes, mabuhay ka, no? JP Pinheiro, ayan. Lomas Amayla, Lea Nois Unroman, ayan. Sam Anders, Tess Lime Pasamonte, Rito Escueta, ZV Bacus, Jess Gordola, Jess, kamusta ka na? Yan, Jessie. Mirna Tamayo, Alma Gonzaga, Eva Gallo, Joey, Ruby Fabian, Selmari Cruz, Jenny Gay Hermoso, Donalyn Dona, Joyce C. Joyce, Raul Paragas, J. Ron Cariaga Domincil, Janelle Generoso, Eric Ben Badjan, yung ba ito? Ngayon wala siguro narinig, attorney, no? Mac J. SF, Anelo Antepuesto, yes, Diaz Camacho Pearl and Angelica Garcia, Vince KL, ayan, Amor Dirain, Mariel, si Mariel nagtanong na nga pala. Richard David, Ruby De Vera, Bel Deras, Rafael Adolf, Ivy Ducut, Marie Antoinette Peblan, Randy Lontop, and Lenny Beth Nayo Kerner, Dulia Prado, Emmy Harris, mahirap magbasa ng mga pangalan na medyo iba ang spelling, Emmy Ranz Ruiz, ayan, Christopher Dueñas Inocencio, Ray Rzes, Zao, Sahid Bilal, Jerome Desengaño Ford, Ian Garcia,
Wow.
Hashim Camacho Faith, Rose Makatunggal, Evelyn Anding, okay, Izel Menyeda, no? Doris De Leon, Amalia Llaguno, Kimbrao, para Kimbroy, no? Lizalando Dinglasan Perez, Tess Calub, okay, Tess, Margaret Hurtado Llanes, Tangonan, Tini Case, Grace James, nagtanong to, si Saraspi Gabayno Medina, no? Amira Abdullah, Amira Guest, no? Ayan, mga Kerf Tenny, Don Jemala Maller, nagtanong to, so Joe Feli Corazon, Jera Borges, Elsa Prado Mendoza, no? Ayan, ito yung mga, Aurea Reyes Insyong, Jane Cantos, Idel Loner, no? Julie Ojeda Refrea, Mark Let Opila Abaga, Esther Castillo, Christine Casas, pagod na yung bibig ko sa kakabasa, attorney. Badong Menchola, Faustino Bautista, Sahid Mahmoud, Rosemary Bautista, Ryan Barros, Risa Blanca, Loyola Gomez, si Dory Makatangkop, nagtatanong to, no? So hindi na natin binabasa yung mga nakapagtanong-tanong na. Jane Silverio, ayan, Silverio, Manalo Steven, Severino Landicho, ayan, mabuhay kayo. At attorney, may tanong, April Golbeo, Lovell, good evening. Victorel Pacaco, ang ganda ng apelido. Nori Cristobal, good evening. Lunch Pablo, Mirna Apuyan, Martha Bacalso, okay. Ang tanong ni Eric Ben Badyang, sana pumasok. Hindi yata pumasok. Tignan lang natin kung pumasok lang, no? Hindi pumasok. Ito na, babasahin ko lang, attorney, no?
Diba?
Okay. Erickson Badyang pala, Badyang. Attorney Lira, good PM po. Paano po ba makakuha ng permanent resident dito sa UK, United Kingdom? Almost 5 years na kami dito, pero nandito kami sa Northern Ireland. Sana mabasa niyo po ang messages ko. Salamat po, attorney at Sir Sonny. Ayan, nabasa ko na. Ito. Romel Martinez is watching. Edna Emerson. Ayan, attorney, gusto mo sagutin yan?
Yeah.
Nasa Northern Ireland, ha?
So, yeah. Pwede ba ito, Mr. Pajang? It's 5 years ka on what basis, no?
Ayun.
So, email mo sa akin kung gusto mo yung kopya nga yung visa mo, no? So I need to know really a little bit more info about it. So kung wala tayong time na pag-usapan nga ngayon, just email me. Just put lagay mo nga dun sa subject, please, immigration corner, no? And you can just take a photo nga, of the BRP, for example, the visa nga, and then attach it and then send it to me. Lagay mo kung pwede, please, yung telephone number. So, mga kaibigan natin, and clearly, we have a lot of friends nga, no? It's great. Pagka nagpadala kayong email sa akin, just put immigration corner, please, no? So, just in case, pagka nakuha ko, often what happens is, I look at it in the evening, tapos, I close it, and then I can't find it again. But if you put immigration corner dun sa subject, I will find it again and then I'll get back to you. So Mr. Bajang, kung pwede, send me please a copy nga of your yung status nyo. And then with the telephone number, it doesn't matter that you're in Northern Ireland. Happy to give you a call.
Okay. All right. So ayan, ito yung email address. Okay, but make sure do sa subject, no? Lagay niyo lang immigration corner kasi para at least mapansin kagad ni attorney. Ayan. Okay, ano ba to? Okay, ito meron si ano pangalan to, attorney? So hindi, basahin lang natin sa area, no? Sa area tuloy, dyan sa live. Ayan, si Zoe ba yan? Joey. Anyway, thank you so much, attorney Lira, sa PR ko last May 2019. Juanito Arias po. Naging client mo pala yan.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Pasalamat siya. Thank you.
Yeah. Kamusta?
Ayan,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Ay, gwapong-gwapo siya, no? Si Joey. Ayun, no? Thank you so much, Attorney Lira, sa PR ko. Okay, mabuhay. Ito kung PR siya last year, nag-apply ka na ba ng ano pangalan to? Ng citizenship na, yung di ba? Yung, ano ba tawag, another word for citizenship? Ano yan? When you go from the PR, ano na?
Naturalization.
Naturalization. Ayan, oo. Pero parang may diploma pa yan eh. Meron akong diploma, hindi ko lang kung nasa yung diploma ko eh. Parang diploma ganyan, kalit lang yan. Balit lang yun eh. Tapos meron pa seremonya yan. Ang seremonya ko, attorney, sana sa Wandsworth Town Hall. Doon, no? Marami kayo. Parang
did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did. Para kami magkakapatid, nag-aayakapan kami ng mga kasabay naming naging citizens, no? Ang ganda na it was para kaming may graduation. And laki noon eh, di ba? Yung Wandsworth Hall, parang
Yeah.
Laki-laki noon. So, hall na yan, parang hindi ko alam kung yun ang ginagawa. But anyway, but it was big. Hindi ko alam kung doon yung mga councilors nagbi-meeting o hindi ko alam kung yun it's a hall for something, no? Pero ang ganda, it was a wonderful experience, no? So, yeah, sana ma-experience din ho ninyo yan, no? I don't know ngayon. Yeah. Ano ba nangyari? Were they, ngayon, pag may nag-a-apply ba ng citizenship, wala nang mga seremonya ngayon?
No.
Meron pa
They
rin.
still, no,
Nakamask lang sila.
kailangan pa rin nga. Yeah, well, ang problema nga ngayon, I think actually at the moment they're getting close, no? So it's a lot of them have been put on hold actually. So you still need to do the ceremony in order to finish it, no? So hopefully, natapos na itong COVID, and then and people can experience again the oath taking.
The oath taking, kaya nga.
Yeah.
Oo. Pero lahat, everything sa immigration tuloy-tuloy. Walang nahinto.
Yeah.
Nagkaroon lang ng backlog, ika nga, or something. Pero tuloy pa rin. Kumbaga, bukas pa rin ang tindahan. The store is open, so to speak. Ayun.
Absolutely.
So wala silang
Yeah, hearings are still taking place. Deadlines are still very much in place. So just because now may COVID does not mean that they're going to extend the 14 days or indeed the 28 days. So beware. So huwag niyong pabayaan, no? So no, hearings are definitely still taking place. Although a lot of my hearings are taking place remotely, so by video, which is a little bit strange. But yeah, no, they're still going ahead. Bukas pa sila.
Ayan, may tinatanong si Colin Bailey, ayan, watching. Daycare Joe, Richard Murray, Edna Emerson, Daisy Pajaro Cabasal, ayan, ang dami tayong mga nanonood, no? Attorney Lira, sabi ni Eric Ben Badyang, no? Ayan. Yung email na nakapost sa screen, doon po ba kami mag-i-email? Yes, pinopost nga natin para yan ang makita nyo. Para dyan kayo magpadala ng message. Ayan.
Yeah.
So, sabi ni Rhea Gatchalian, ito, si Rhea Gatchalian, andito siya, pwedeng ipasok yung kanyang message. Ang sabi ni Rhea Attorney is, salamat po Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. God bless to both of you. Stay safe. Uy, thank you rin. Kayo rin, ha? Stay safe din kayo.
Ikaw nga din. Absolutely,
yeah. Lahat tayo. Pero, they seem to be loving us, no? Kumbaga, yung kanilang mga hearts, puso nila, welcome tayo sa kanila, Attorney. At saka, actually, we're invading their houses, their homes, their rooms, kung saan man sila, because they're welcoming us sa kanilang mga tahanan wherever they are. Hindi lang dito sa UK, kundi sa buong mundo, no? Wherever they can watch us, they're welcoming us wherever they are. So, salamat. Yeah. And yun sinasabi ko si Attorney, ikaw pag sino ba kaya to? Yeah, ito, si Attorney Lira, ganyan, no?
Oh, that's so nice, talaga.
Yeah. Itong it's nice kasi we develop friends and we develop some following and friendships, dito sa ating program because they can see us as sincere and really authentic with our happiness that we're glad that we're doing this, no? Talagang, di ba? Nakikita naman namin ang enthusiasm mo, di ba? When you come over, you prepare, and the bubbliness, the happiness, di ba? The vibes, nakikita it comes out. It like lumalabas yan. We exude, you exude. Yan, di ba? Kasi happy tayo magkasama. We exude yung ating sincerity and the interest of letting people know, di ba? Ay, nagpe-prepare si Attorney rito, hinahanda niya, di ba? Ako naman natututo, kaya ako may notes every time na marami na akong notes kaya lang siyempre review kailangan reviewin niya, no? So I know yun, nalalaman ko ng konti maski paano na kayo rin may natututunan din kayo, no? Well, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye.
Really?
Can you accommodate a stupid question?
Oh, there's no such thing as stupid question. Kung ano man.
Hindi. Ito, ayoko. Sige, game lang naman tayo dito. Wala naman tayo. Sige, okay lang. Sabi niya, yan, basahin mo. Kaya mo ba basahin niya? Attorney, kakasya ba?
So sabi niya dito. This is from Victorel Pacaco, no? Good evening, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. I got a stupid question. Ikaw naman. Ilang square meter o hectare na lupa ang allowable na ma-acquire ko sa Pinas? Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I don't know the quick answer to that.
Hindi. As a British citizen, kasi ganda sabi niya, I've got a stupid question. Ilang square meters or hectares na lupa ang allowable na ma-acquire po sa Pinas at as a British citizen? Please, thanks. Kasi sabi nila, may limit daw pag British citizen ka na. Ayun. Di pag gano'n ka, mag-dual citizenship ka, and then probably that would be the way around it. I don't know, wag mo pakinggan ako, amuyong lang ako rito ni Attorney, no? So,
No, no,
ayan.
no. I think tama ka. I think tama ka, Sony. What that's an advantage nga of becoming dual, no? Because then when you dual, then you're also still very much Filipino. So you would then get back if you were not dual nga before the benefits of being Filipino citizen nga, and that would include ownership of land. So kung dual ka, then you won't have nga the limits. But as you say, as much as I hope nga that it's a learning experience for others. Ako nga din, no? I learned a lot on a happy Thursday. So I'm going to look it up, no? Dahil ngayon gusto kong malaman so how the limit limit
Oh,
of property. So
kasalanan mo kasi, attorney. Ang ganda ng discussion natin last week nung you were telling us what would happen when they arrive in the Philippines, kung ano yung di ba? Kasi people were asking us, minsan hindi natin masyado masagot kasi, no? And that was a nice opening. Maganda yung episode natin na yun, ha? That was nice, ha? So, yeah, it's maganda yun. Sabi ni Alma Gonzaga, I am so happy. I feel so happy when you read my message. Thank you so much. Oh, yan. We made somebody happy. Maganda ang tulog ni bukas, nakasmile yan. Okay, pag tulog niya, nakasmile si Alma. Alma, good evening. Ha? Thank you very much. So happy when you read my message. Ayan. Ito, salamat si Yamit Acosta. Sabi niya, salamat po, Attorney Lira, sa mga po sa topic tonight. Mabuhay po kayo. Stay safe and stay healthy to both of you. Have a lovely evening po, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. God bless po. Ay, salamat. Thank you. Bait naman. No?
Po.
Ito, nagbigay siya ng heart sa atin dahil Valentine's na eh.
Yes. Diba? Yeah, Valentine's na. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, love month ngayon to, no? So, thank you. At mabuhay. We're happy, no? Ayan. Okay. Well, siguro, bago tayo magpaalam, siguro, ito, sabihin mo ako sa kanilang makukontak, Attorney, ito, no? Paano kanilang kukontakin pala, ayan?
So, kung meron kayong mga question po, it's always useful to see the documents. So, kung gusto nyo i-email ako, yun ang email ko, kabatbat@douglas-simon.com. Now, otherwise, you're very welcome to telephone nga, but sometimes it's easier just to email me, tapos bigyan nyo yung mobile number nyo, yung cell number nyo, and I'll buzz you back. No? Yung nga lang, as I say, kung mag-email kayo, if you just put in the subject nga, Immigration Corner, dahil ang habit ko, unfortunately, is I open my email, babasahin ko, and then I close it because I've opened them in the evenings also. And then I can't find it anymore. So if you could just put it in the subject so at least I can find it again, because I'm keen to obviously make contact now with people who very kindly have taken the time nga to watch us. So please, email me. Feel free.
Okay, Attorney, ito yung si Edgar Duway, medyo biglang nag-flash eh. Meron pa tatlong questions, Attorney. Sige, pagbigyan na lang natin muna ito mga to. Ito yung pinagtatanggol at tinuturo ka. Doon kayo kay Attorney, Simon, ganyan, no? Ito, may tanong siya. May isa pang tanong, siguro 1 or 2 pa, no? Random question. May kababayan na nagkaanak na dito, pinanganak. Kaso, pinalaki niya ng ilang taon sa USA sa magulang niya. But now the kid is back to stay with them with green card visa. Pwede ba mag-apply na lang agad British citizenship ang bata na 11 years old? 3 years na nandito ang bata ngayon. At that time, the mother is not yet British citizen nang pinanganak ang bata din sa UK. But the mother is now British citizen. Can the kid have to wait certain years before applying as British citizen?
Okay, so
nakuha mo ba? May nakuha mo ba itong more or less?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the scenario it seems is dito siya pinanganak yung bata. Tapos umalis, pumunta sa US. Tapos bumalik dito, no? In the UK and has been here for the last 3 years, yung sabi nga niya. So at the time nung pinanganak yung bata, hindi pa British o hindi pa indefinite nga yung nanay dito. Pero siguro ngayon indefinite na. So kung ang sitwasyon nga dito pinanganak, dati hindi British yung nanay, pero British na nga ngayon, nandito na din yung bata. Question is, can that child make an application directly for a British passport? The answer is not directly. Kailangan yung bata i-register muna, no? Dahil nung pinanganak siya, hindi pa indefinite yung nanay. But that should not be an issue. So the child should apply for registration to become British. When that is granted, then can apply for a British passport.
Okay, ayan. May isang tanong hindi pumasok sa no? Ito ko lang babasahin. Ayan. Sana hindi kayo magtampo. Sana hindi sila magtampo, attorney, pag na-miss ko. Kasi ang dami talaga. I mean, nakita mo naman habang nagbabasa ako, ang dami na binabasa ko, no? Maraming tao talaga. Ito si Ray Rezezao. Hirap ng pangalan. Sabi niya, attorney, pwede po ba magpakasal dito sa UK? Ang BF ko is EU passport. He is from Lithuanian, but siguro he's been living here in the UK for 13 years. Ayan. Ano sagot? Yes?
Yeah.
Diba? No?
So there are actually two issues there, no? So
okay.
unang-una, yung boyfriend mo, he should not forget to make an application under the settlement scheme. Okay? Kahit nga EU siya, kahit meron na siyang permanent resident dito. So don't forget, the deadline is the 30th of June para sa kanya. So the second issue is, pwede mong magpakasal nga dito. I'm assuming from that question na baka wala siyang status, no? Kung wala kang status, pero boyfriend mo nga dito man nakatira, you can still marry in the UK. Absolutely, you can still marry. Yung nga lang, you have to go through this designated registrar, no? Bago nyo gawin yon, make sure that you're prepared. So that you have all your documents nga, because after marriage, presumably, or even before nga marriage, it could be that it's likely na you want to make an application for leave to remain in the UK. So make sure you prepare everything before you go see the designated registrar. So yes, is the answer.
Ang tanong, attorney, kung nagpakasal sila at they decided na magpakasal na prior to the January 1 or until December 31, di ba? As an EEA dependent, mas mabilis ba yun sa kanya?
Yeah, it's generally, no, it is easier, no, to apply as an EU dependent than under, say, the immigration rules, and that absolutely, remains to be the case. So yes, no, there's absolutely there is advantages. There are advantages of applying.
Sana nanood sila sa atin noon pa, no? Kasi ngayon medyo magkakaroon na ng di ba? Dahil pero magiging resident, di ba? Resident din kanyang di ba? Mag-a-apply hanggang June, basta nandito before December 31. Yeah. They still have until June 6 ba yung sinasabi mo, di ba? Pero mag-apply.
30 June.
3rd of June, basta si June, no? 3rd of June. So,
no, 30.
30th of June. End of June. The half year. Okay, so the first half of the year. So, kalahating taon, pwede pa, no? Although, tapos na yung first month, no? So, kung napaaga siyang nagtanong niyan, ang i-advise mo ba kung dapat mapakasal na sila na mas maaga pa? Habulin yung 31st?
Yeah.
Hindi rin.
Look, I wouldn't worry now about that. If given the choice, would I have advised that? Yes. But tapos na no? 31st of December. So, ang importante nga, kung yung pa rin nga ang plano nyo, you should do it as soon as you can. No? Because there's no point in waiting kung yun naman gusto nyo gawin. No? It's unlikely that the immigration rules will get better in time. I think it will get worse, actually, probably in time. It will just get stricter. So, kung yun ang plano nyo, you should do it. And you should do it as soon as you can.
Ito, merong doon sa tanong ng tungkol sa lupa, no? Ito, may sinagot si Virginia Smith. Virginia, good evening, ha? Matagal-tagal na rin natin dinadinig si Virginia. Mabuhay ka. Kumusta ka na? Sana, okay ka, no? Sabi niya, dual citizens of the Philippines under Philippine Republic Act 9225 can own land in the Philippines without restrictions similar to foreigners or former natural-born Filipinos. Ayan.
Okay, there you are.
There you are. Kita mo? nakatutulungan tayo ng mga no? Ito, mga Briton ba ito? Is he British? What application form for registration as a British citizen, please? Ayan, puti. Si Bailey. Colin Bailey. Yeah, British yan,
registration as British. I think it's actually an AN application. I can't actually remember. I can see the form, but I can't remember what it's called. Colin, if you want, email me, and I will actually send you the link. I can see the form. I can't remember it. I think it's a form. My apologies. I think it's an MN1.
For child, attorney. For child. Meron siyang follow-up. Ang follow-up niya for child. So, for child.
So it's an MN1. Yun ang pangalan. That's the name of the form. MN1.
Yeah, okay. So, thank you. Colin, no? Si Colin, ayan. Lagay ko lang itong mga messages na nandito pa sa atin, natitira. Thanks very much. Cheers, Victorel Pacako, no? And Belen Anderton said, God bless and good night po. I enjoyed listening. Stay safe. Meron pa siyang prayer, parang prayer na ano. Okay, well, yung mga nahuhuli na ho, next week na ho, matutulog pa ho tayo. Medyo break, time out. Okay, time out muna tayo. Time out. Alam ko, happy Thursday. Ito, ano ba to? Dagdag na lang natin para information bago ano. Para lang for information. For Filipinos who hold dual citizenship, they are able to purchase as much lands as a Filipino citizen so walang limitless under the dual citizenship law of 2003. How much can balikbayans buy? When purchasing land for residential use, balikbayans can only buy a maximum of 1,000 square meters for urban land and 1 hectare for rural lands. Ayan, kita nyo? And then Colin Bailey says, thanks. Thank you too. Colin, tell your friends about this program because that's the only thing that we could probably ask from you. If you guys are enjoying this, then tell your friends about it. Share it, no? Share nyo. Panoorin nyo lahat ng programa dito. Kay Dana Quinto, kay Attorney, sa akin, and more programs are coming up. Okie dokie. I guess, palagi ko, huwag na kayo magalit, ha? Kasi baka umabot na tayo alas 12 ng gabi rito sa ating no? Baka mamaya yung mga taga-Pilipinas na gising na, mapakinggan na tayo. Di ba, no? But we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, Attorney? Ano?
No, absolutely. Alam ko, I always say this every week, and it's because I truly mean it. Happy Thursday truly is the highlight of my week. Because it's so enjoyable nga to have contact with so many friends nga, mga kaibigan natin, and it's our community is growing, and I'm always so humbled. I know I say it all the time because it's true. I'm so humbled that people are taking out the time to watch us, and also that they also share nga information. So as much as I hope nga that yung mga kaibigan natin that they learn something from our program nga, as much as that I also learn. So truly it is really a happy Thursday for me. I'm not just saying that because we talk about bagoong and we talk about tuyo.
Hindi, kasama rin yun at iba pa, no? Immigration coroner and other things. Kami naman dito, this is just a casual conversation. Parang andyan kayo in large conversation and you're joining in. So parang lang kami nagkukwentuhan ni attorney, no? Tapos and then you are there and you're being a part of our conversation. Wala nga lang kaming coffee or anything dahil medyo pero kung magkasama kami sa studio, baka merong coffee table kami habang nag-uusap kami ganyan, no? At tinatalakay yung inyong mga tanong, no? At it's really fun, no? I really enjoyed it. I learned, attorney. Ako kasama ako rito. I am not an expert sa natutuwa ako dahil I also learn because these are questions coming from people with actual experiences, actual situations. Diba? Yan yung kagandahan. Hindi to gawa-gawa lang. Talagang questions nila yan. Si Henry Facon, sabi niya, thank you very much. Good night po, Kuya Sonny. And Attorney Lira, good night, no? Emily Rafael, thank you, Attorney Lira. Very interesting and enjoying listening. Mabuhay kayong dalawa. Keep safe. Ayun, okay. Well, kami rin.
Salamat po.
Salamat. So, saan kanila uli makakontakt? How do they contact you, attorney? Para ito, ano natin, lagi lang natin. Sabi ko naman, yan, ito, yan. Saan kanila makakontakt yan? Kabatbat, yan.
So, ang email ko po, kabatbat@douglas-simon.com. Lagay nyo nga lang sa subject, Immigration Corner. So, telephone number po namin, 0203-375-0555. No? I should also say, next week, Sonny, I don't know if you agree with this, dahil nga, it's Valentine's nearly, no? So next week, I thought we'd talk about something Valentine's related, that is applications.
Love. Application for?
Spouse applications.
Oh.
Yeah, so makuha nyo yung sweethearts nyo, no? So yung pag-usapan natin. So kung meron mga questions in relation to that, and you want us to deal with it in the show, please email me.
Pero hindi natin ko-cover dyan. Hindi natin ko-cover dyan as attorney yung may asawa sa Pilipinas na in love dito. Encompassing ba yan? Encompassing ba yung ano? O limited tayo doon sa iyong sinasabi mo? That is gonna be interesting, eh?
No. Anything is open, no? Anything is open. But yung pag-usapan natin, so we bring your sweethearts into the UK.
Maganda. So, ganito naman ho tayo. We have a topic, pero you can ask us anything doon sa open, how do we call this? Open forum? O ano ba tawag dito?
I suppose so, no? Open
forum. Open line, open forum,
goes.
anything goes. O, pagkatapos, yan. Okay, well, attorney, sige, magpaalam ka na. Baka may shoutouts ka, may babatiin ka, 1 linggo ka na namin mamimiss uli, di ba? Next time makita ka na namin, hindi namin alam, baka mamaya tumaba ka o, dahil siyempre, di ba? Marami ka kinain. Nagtuyo ka ng no?
Yung tuyo. Yeah. Tuyo tsaka bagoong.
Bagoong, paborito natin yan. I love tuyo. Grabe yan. Pwede pa ako magkamay dyan.
No,
yes, attorney.
Absolutely. Tuyo is my favorite. Anyway, so I know. Thank you so much po for watching. Talaga, I am always humbled that you take the time to watch us and also to listen po. So it's hope to see you next week again, and keep watching, keep the questions coming, no, that they are extremely interesting to me. At saka kung meron kayong mga tanong, don't email me. Huwag kayong mahiya. Happy to help, please.
Right. Yes. Okay. Well, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. Alam nyo, alam ko marami pang maggustong tanong pero we have to, gusto namin talaga. We really enjoy this. Kaya lang, syempre, it's bigyan natin for next week para parami pa rin yung questions. We won't, hanggat maaari, pag next week, pag nanood ho kayo, agahan na ho ninyo as early as the start of the show, magpasok na ho kayo ng mga question nyo. Kasi, it's nice, di ba? At just para mapaaga rin ho tayo ng para sunod-sunod na ho yung questions natin. Okie-dokie. Pero gusto ko rin linawin na pag hindi ho nababasa, huwag kayo magalit sa akin, baka nakakalusot. Kaya I'm looking at 2 different monitors now, no? Para lang to make sure na yung, kasi in the middle of sinasabi, hindi pa nababasa yung question ko, no? So, yan. I hope nabasa natin lahat. Kung hindi ko ho nabasa, pasensya na ho lang. Tao lamang. But welcome mo kayo. We love you. Okay, well, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. Thank you very much. So sa inyong lahat, no, na who made our Thursday very, very, very happy. No, I hope we made your Thursdays happy as well. No, me and Attorney Lira Simon Kabatbat. So we'd like to do it. Let's do it again. Let's do it again next week. No, let's do this Happy Thursday thing. You have any questions? Immigration, sige, tanong nyo lang ho, because this is very nice. It not only benefits you, whoever asks the question, but also the people who are listening in, because it's very interesting. So, ayan, no. So, yan, looking forward, attorney, for next week. Love, ulit topic mo? Paano yung line mo? Bring your
bring your sweethearts into the UK.
Bring your sweethearts to the
application.
Ayan. Ayun, very interesting. Lahat tayo, love, the world revolves about this love. So, let's do it. So, okay, but siyempre, keep safe and well and healthy. Ingat-ingat ho lang kayo. Para lang sa ganun, we can see each other. Kami rin na mag-iingat para we will be here to be in front of you para makasama ho na ninyo. So, till then, this is Sonny here saying thank you very much. And as always, take care. We love you. And see you next week. Bye.